Yes, I believe Cheney's story. Yeah, I believe. I wonder sometimes if he's not more involved in the case than he wants to let on.
Leigh had a ball of paraffin to squeeze, and I had been squeezing it earlier, but then I rolled it and polished it so that there were no fingerprints left on it. And he wanted a fingerprint, so I put my thumb on it and pressed it down, my right thumb, and then I left.
When I went to Washington to interview him, the interview just something, a sixth sense or whatever it may be, didn't feel right. So I asked Cheney if he'd take a polygraph. And we went to the Washington State Police and they in Tacoma, and we're going to run a polygraph. But he drank too much the night before. He knew he was scheduled for this, and came in terribly hungover, couldn't take it, then took it later, came back inconclusive. Things like that I didn't really care for. And then now I understand lately he's come out and said that since the information has come out regarding San Francisco Police Department trying to get DNA off stamps that might have been licked by the Zodiac, Cheney's come out and made mention that he and Arthur were doing something, and Arthur had him licking his stamps.
After I came in, he showed me the watch, and he was in the process of writing thank you notes and stuffing them in envelopes and that. And he had a box of stationery items on the table that was handy. He says, "Why don't you stamp some of those envelopes for me?" So I did that.
He never said that to me. Never said that to any law enforcement that I know of. And I'm wondering if there's a possibility he's trying to cover up if his DNA shows up on any of these stamps.
Has anybody ever made any attempt to do a DNA test on Cheney?
You know what? I don't think so. They've run we took fingerprints, and we had handwriting exemplars on them, and neither one of those matched.
I met Don Cheney, I think, 2 or maybe 3 times. Once a diving trip over to the North Coast. Another time he visited with Leigh in Monterey when I was staying at my mother's house. And I really didn't get to know the guy. He made me feel a little uneasy, and I couldn't tell you why.
Zodiac had a widow's peak, hair coming in the center more and receding on both sides of the forehead. I don't know if that's the proper term for it, but that's what my parents used to call it.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Zodcast. Today is Wednesday, April 21st. Hope everybody's doing well. Wanted to talk about a few things. It's been a couple weeks since I've done an upload, so finally getting around to it. And wanted to focus on some of the writing of Don Cheney. Of course, that was a picture of Don Cheney, and there again is his close relative, Mary L. Paradise, but I think we've talked about that enough. But, it's just one of those clues that keeps popping up with Don Cheney. And, just to state again how rare that is a surname and a place name. Extremely, extremely rare, and it just happens to come up closely in Don Cheney's family. But anyway, I wanted to talk about the letter that Don Cheney wrote a while back to Tom Voigt. Of course, you see where you put victim there. I spelled it V-I-C-T-E-M. And then the Zodiac spells victim V-I-C-T-O-M. I was a little deterred after reading that. I thought, that can't be the same guy, and I thought the name really isn't that common. You think it would be, but it's not. But I went to the school yearbook for Bakersfield College, the 1953 edition. It's called the Raconteur. And I saw this picture of the student council. And lo and behold, there was a picture of Paul Avery. It says right there, he's the man right here on the right. And I thought, man, that looks just like him. So I found one of the early pictures of the San Francisco Chronicle, Paul Avery, I think when he first started there, and voila, It is the same Paul Avery. What were the odds that he's going to the same small junior college as Donald Lee Cheney at the same time?